Good morning, fans of the new network. Our guest today is Tony Maderazzo. He is Chief Operating Officer of Monster X Tour. We'll be discussing Monster X. We'll be discussing their big stop in Cincinnati, Ohio, and more. And speaking of Cincinnati, Ohio, they're going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio on May 4th at 1:30, May 4th at 7:30, and May 5th at 2 p.m. at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds. So definitely check that out. Check out their website and get your tickets early because you don't want them to run out. Tony, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What is Monster X Tour?
The Monster X Tour is a very exciting family event. We pride ourselves on family. We've traveled across the world with each other, and when we make these stops in each individual town, we're looking to connect with the local folks and the families that come in. So we're one big family, and we like to share that entertainment and that wow that we work very hard to put on, and we know that you guys work very hard to come out and see us. So it's a big monster truck event that has many other little events inside of it and different activities to make it a complete family entertaining, spectacular event.
Yeah, I love how you have something for the entire family. I mean, you get there, hopefully if you're smart, you get there during the pit party. You got them bounce houses, you got where you can ride on the monster truck, you got the autographs. There's all kinds of cool things that the entire family loves, the great food. I mean, it's just one heck of an event. It's like going to a festival and a monster truck event all in one.
That's right. And let's talk about that pit party. We refer to that kind of like the calm before the storm. So like that 1:30 event on Saturday, we're going to open the gates at noon. Now, one thing about the Monster X Tour is that pit party is absolutely free with your ticket. Other tours, they charge you an additional fee. We don't. So you can come out early, 90 minutes before each showtime. So 12 for the 1:30, 6 p.m. for the 7:30, and then on Sunday, 12:30 p.m. for that 2 o'clock show. Come out, meet the drivers. You can get up close to these monster trucks. You can talk to the drivers, get their autographs, take pictures, ask them any questions you want. Also a part of that, you can go over and purchase a ride in a real monster truck. We've got the bounce houses, face painting. Like you said, we've got that real fair food where you can get funnel cakes, popcorn, snow cones, cotton candy, hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, chicken fingers, French fries. I mean, it is the full package. And get there early, like you said, and then we're going to meet you, we're going to greet you, and then we're going to entertain you with a great show.
Well, it is a great event. I've had the pleasure of being there before, and it just truly is so much fun for the entire family. But the important question is, how did it all get started?
If you want to really go back, the owner of this tour is the son of the gentleman that actually is the promoter that was doing the monster truck pull that Bigfoot came out and put up a car on put up his truck on some cars. So it all started in Missouri at the Superdome with Stanley Torgerson doing massive monster truck pulls. They were truck pull events. And he had saw Bob Chandler's Bigfoot. They had met, and he was like, that thing's kind of neat. Why don't you bring it all out? And it started from just coming out at an intermission of a truck pulling event. He came out, put it up on tires, on some cars, and 50,000 people went crazy. And Stanley said, this might be something. Monster trucks were a side act to truck pulls in the very, very beginning. They were brought in as just some yahoos to make the crowd, entertain when nothing else was going on. And nowadays, they're the main attraction. And so it really stems from that very first appearance of Bigfoot.
Nice. That is awesome to have such great origins, such great roots in the monster truck industry. And it sounds like you guys, it's in your blood.
It sure is. It sure is. And, we've taken trucks, like I said, all over the world. We've been to China, the first show ever in Moscow, Russia. We've been to Poland, Latvia. We've been down in Central and South America. Our world finals have been in Hawaii. We've been to Alaska. we have been all over the world, but it's the stops throughout the United States that, you know, everybody kind of gets reconnected. As we've traveled over the years, we've gotten to know people kind of all over. So those local stops, like this stop in Cincinnati, even though it's our first time, you know, those are the ones that probably mean the most to us.
So which monster trucks are going to be at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds this weekend?
You know, we've got USA 1 running an authentic 1980s body. Brett that's driving that truck, he's terrified. Can't believe that we decided to put that body on there. Hand painted, original body from the 80s. So it's a very classic USA 1 if you're into those legendary names. Back in the days, it was USA 1 and Bigfoot battling it out against each other at various competitions. So to have USA 1 back and in a classic body is something special. We have the world's only four-wheeler monster truck, Quad Chaos, and its body design looks like it's an ATV, handlebars up on top. Like if you were a giant, you could ride it. That's a spectacular truck to see up close. We have the wild and crazy Rampage monster truck that is driven by Tommy V, and that kid can do some spectacular skills in that truck. He's pretty much known for what we refer to as a front stoppie. That is where you're actually getting that monster truck to balance on its front two wheels. And I have seen Tommy V take Rampage and balance it on that front nose for over 30 seconds. So it's quite impressive to see the skills and the tricks that they can do in these vehicles. So those are going to be three of our trucks, and I'm trying to think of the other two that are specifically there. We have many different stops across the country that travel. I know that the ride truck is the Carolina Crusher Ride Truck Experience. Kevin drives that, and he goes out there and gives the fans one heck of a ride. Again, that ride truck's specially modified. Pretty much all monster trucks nowadays have that engine in the rear of the truck. The ride truck, because we wanted seats with seat belts to keep everybody safe in the back where the bed would be, that engine's in the front. So besides that, that's the only change to that truck. Other than that, it is everything inside of a real monster truck. Definitely a great experience to have. And the other two trucks, I believe, are Barely Tame. Definitely a great truck, legendary name once again, that'll be out there. And that fifth and final truck performing, I was just with the tour too a couple weeks ago. I'll think about it. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. It's all good. Of course, the most important question is for our listeners is where can they buy their tickets?
You know, the best place is monsterxtour.com. Click on the big red button. You'll see the Cincinnati, Ohio event listed. Then it'll break down into each three performance so you can get your tickets to a specific time. If you want to wait, we will absolutely sell them at the gate. When the gates open, again, that's 90 minutes before each performance time. You can pick them up right there before you head in. So pretty easy to get. Really easy to purchase. You can have them on your phone. You don't even need to print them out if you order them ahead of time, and just walk right up to the gate and come on in. Again, that Hamilton County Fairgrounds with three performances this Saturday, 2 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday.
The thing that really impresses me is how you're able to pack your shows with so much adrenaline-filled, massive Monster X Tour madness. How are you able to do that?
You know, I think that comes with the years of doing the shows, right? I mean, you figure out things that work, you figure out things that don't work, and you build a show flow that really feels well. And in fact, we know when something's wrong. Like if the show goes off, if a mishap happens, the crowd doesn't even know. Because we just know to kind of keep it moving, go to the next thing and keep everybody entertained. But we feel it, and we know if something goes out of sync. But definitely with the Monster X Tour, it's the same trucks, the same event each and every weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's the same crew, it's the same driver, it's the same announcer, everybody is exactly the same. And you really just find your groove with being around everybody and the same people. There's no element that really changes. And so everybody just knows what the next thing is. And when you're not pausing to think what that next thing is, or juggling to figure it out, it's just one thing after another. You know, the great saying is, we're going to sell you the seat, but you're only going to use the edge. That's really the case on the Monster X Tour.
Oh, definitely. So it sounds like it's your consistency, it's your professionalism that really make the difference with putting on such an amazing show.
I think so. Yeah, the years of experience and that we have doing it definitely make a difference than a pop-up event.
So with this, obviously, it's more than just monster truck, which I don't want to say just, like that's not enough to excite people. But I understand the Extreme Motocross Team is also going to be there, and I'm excited about that as well.
Those guys are absolutely insane. You know, a monster truck is, the driver is one with that vehicle. I mean, they're just like NASCAR. So they're in full containment race seats. They're in 5-point harnesses, Hans devices, full race fire suits, helmets. You know, they literally ratchet themselves tight into the truck. The freestyle motocross guys, they got nothing. They wear a helmet and some race gear that I guess would help them out in the desert. And they're jumping a 35-foot gap, 75 feet in the air, letting go of what got them up there. It is absolutely insane to see the tricks that they do and what they're doing with that bike. They do backflips, big tail whips where they almost turn completely backwards and move that bike back around. It's really something else. And what's kind of developed over the years is they used to have a hard landing ramp. It got towed behind a truck, and it was hard, and they would land on it. You'd kind of hear a boom as their motorcycle took the compression, you know, to absorb the shock of that landing, which again is set up to do that. And over the years, they now have airbag landings.
Yeah,
they've developed basically a gigantic bounce house style, has a top sheet on it that's a little bit harder, but still plastic. And so when they land, the bag itself, as well as the suspension of the bike, absorb it. But what that really does is it gives them, you know, they know they're safe. If they miss a trick, if they miss grabbing that bike, if something else happens, they're just landing on an airbag. And before, they were landing on a hard surface. So unfortunately, in the past, there had been some pretty tragic accidents. But like I said, what this airbag now landing technology has done is it's given these guys that are already nuts even more confidence, because they know, if I miss it, so what? I'm walking away.
That is awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's going to be a great experience. The other thing about getting there early, because of course we want to get there early for the pit party, like you said, which is included, but also seating, first come, first serve. So that's probably also very important.
It is. And you know what? The Hamilton County Fairgrounds, great facility. There's plenty of seats. I don't want anybody to think, well, I'm not going to get a ticket because what if I don't actually have a seat? I want to ensure you guys plenty of space, plenty of rooms, plenty of tickets available. But we do want you to get there early, because it is first come, first seating, and this is where you pick your seat, as the entire event is general admission. There's no assigned seating. And so if you want to be in that front row, get there early and secure that spot. But again, there's not a bad seat in the entire fairgrounds grandstands.
That is awesome. And then the other thing you mentioned earlier about how great the food options are, but also you have some really cool merchandise options, which are only available at a Monster X tour event.
That's great. You can get the official tour merchandise only at the event. We actually have real 1/64 scale monster trucks of the trucks that are performing. That just reminded me, the 5th truck is Monster Patrol that we have out there this weekend. So Monster Patrol, I think it's in its 30th anniversary year as well. Another great legendary truck. But you can actually get a 1/64 scale Monster Patrol, Quad Chaos, whatever truck that's performing out there, you can get a real one. And then, of course, there's official T-shirts for each truck. We've got flags, earmuffs. Again, these things are loud. They're putting out over 1,500 horsepower. They run on methanol fuel. They're not a normal engine. And that's what it takes to move these 12,000-pound machines.
Definitely. You're right about the headphones. I was going to say, shoot, I always bring those for my little guy. He's 12 and he's special needs. So he especially needs something like that. And then for the adults, you can always get the those orange things you stick in your ears as well. Those, I like those better than the headphones for myself. But you're right, how loud it is. It's always good to have it as an option if you don't need it, but it's still better to have it just in case.
For sure. And we have all of that stuff at the merchandise stands. You can get pennants of the trucks. Like I said, a lot of cool stuff. And you're right. It's only available if you attend the event. So definitely, again, weather's great. We were talking about that right before we came on. The weather is going to be spectacular. So it's going to be a beautiful day out. And I want to point out each performance, each showtime is exactly the same. Now, we don't script what the trucks do. In the event. So they're going to do a 2-wheel skills challenge. They're going to have a racing bracketed system, and then they're going to do a freestyle event. And again, there's other things mixed in there and sprinkled. So it's not just monster trucks, but what happens and who wins, that's not scripted. Just the show flow is. So in a sense, every show is exactly the same. So don't think, oh, I better go to that first one, or every show is exactly the same. The matinee shows are great for the little guys. You don't have to get them up too early. You're not keeping them out too late. So we love the matinee shows for the little guys. We see a lot of those kids out there, again, getting into the excitement of monster trucks. We always say that it's 8 to 80. You know, this really appeals to everybody to see the awesomeness. And we talked about the horsepower. It's a horsepower that you can feel when those engines go off. You can feel it. It's nothing scary. But it's definitely like, wow, that's a lot of power.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say Monster X Tour, an amazing event. It's definitely something our fans need to experience. Before we let you go, Tony, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you?
So on a website, it's monsterxtour.com. We keep it super simple. Same for Facebook, same for Instagram. You can check us out. Monster, that's the letter X, tour, no S, just tour.com, and Monster X Tour on all social media handles.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.